Rashford with another goal. That's a season pro. He sent Partey packing like Ghana must go. When a goal went in, I was like, let's go. Then Saka came through with a madness. Like you know nothing, Jon Snow. Kick back and enjoy the show. He let all of the man them know that he's not just a kid with a throw. He's the best kid on right wing. Absolute, he's doing his thing. And I know that we'll be back, just deep it. 10 Hag 6 months in. And I know that we'll be back, just deep it. 10 Hag 6 months in. What? Yo, this is the OT99 bantering where opinions are shared and smoke got served. It did get served. It got served to Manchester United. It got served to Erik ten Hag. It got served at the Emirates, and Arsenal are victorious. 3-2. This is one of the toughest days of this year for me right now. It is very long. It is very painful. We lost to Arsenal. And not only did we lose, like, we lost in a way that was very convincing. It was very, very, very convincing. Arsenal just had everything that they lacked previously today. They are not missing Gabriel Jesus, and Nketiah has chosen to step up, and it's painful. Like I don't even know if Gabriel Jesus comes back, if he even gets into the squad, and that is crazy, a crazy thought, crazy thought. But I don't even need to ask you how you're feeling, Edwin. Let me go to Abon. How are you feeling, man?
Bruv, I'm well happy at that result. I'm well happy about that result. I can't tell you, like, I think at 2-2, it was getting a bit iffy. And then I could tell, like, you guys were playing for the draw because some of the substitutions, they were proper defensive. But yeah, look, from my point of view, I reckon it's pretty even for about the first hour. So I think we probably shaded it on possession, but that was going to happen anyway. You were coming to the Emirates. But in terms of shots on goal, I think it was pretty even. But then for the last 30 minutes, United weren't even in the game. And then, like, trigger warning to United fans here, but some of this gamesmanship that was going on was really dodge. Like, Fernandes pretending like he had a head injury and going down, bringing that concussion rule into play. I was like, what the hell is going on here? And then you had David De Gea acting like he took a right hook from Liam Smith over the weekend into the ribcage when Nketiah dragged his arm. So yeah, not impressed with that, because that's not what I expect from United. But yeah, from an Arsenal point of view, yeah, well happy with the result. Performance was up there. A couple of players that need calling out for not necessarily turning up today. I thought Martinelli was really quiet. Wan-Bissaka did a good job on him. But yeah, I think everyone else put in a proper shift.
Wambi. That's the thing about Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He's really good at them one-on-ones. I was worried when he done that tackle in the box against Martinelli, actually. I was just like, but then I just remembered, he usually gets this 9 times out of 10. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is getting that ball. So in a way, but I just know what Martinelli's like. He's got trickery, man. He can go left, he can go right. There's people. If there's anyone that can catch out Aaron Wan-Bissaka, he's probably one of them that could do that. So I was still a bit nervous, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, the last 30 minutes, it was just a myth for Manchester United, man. And I feel like at that point, we should have been thinking how we can change the game. Ugo, by the smirk on your face, man, I can see that you're very gassed.
Wired, man. Wired. Look, I tried to give you guys. I downplayed it, and honestly, it was Ramsdale's mistake. Ramsdale would be my dodge player of the game. Some of his decisions, his eagerness to come off his line could have burnt us in several situations. It ended up burning us with the Martinez goal off the corner. But man, it's good to see players who believe that they're stars step up and act like stars. I mean, Eddie just being that fox in the box, both goals, and then Saka, man. Saka's goal was that.
What did we let Nketiah score 2 goals past us? Oh,
I'm telling you, so yeah, this, like I said, this game really decided if Arsenal's going to stay on that front foot for the Prem, and it's looking like it. We had the focus on United, got those 3 points back that we let up early in the season, and now, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but it looks like City's the last one that we have to handle. So,
damn it, Edwin, man. Edwin, say something, bruv, to like combat this.
You know what? I just feel like you say, like,
they
I
cheated,
think it was quite equal. simple. There wasn't like a lot in it. Like it was 2-2, but our goals came out of like a good piece of play from Rashford and a mistake from Ramsdale. But I think what Man United lack is that extra gear. Do you know, like good teams are able to like step up in that last minute? You know how like Man City came back from 2-0 down against Tottenham, they're able to go to a next level. Like I think our level was here, we hit our ceiling and that's the most we could do. But then when it came to that last half an hour, like 20-30 minutes, Arsenal just stepped up a bit more. Okay, let's push them back. They were playing like between the lines quite well. They were basically able to go up a gear, and that gear allowed them to score that final goal. So, and I think with us, I think with what we had, we done the best that we could, but we couldn't notch up. Like there was no outlet attacking wise except from Rashford to give us that spark. But Arsenal still had Saka, they had Nketiah, they had Martinelli. Even though he was quiet, he was still making the movements, and they brought on Trossard, and then they had Odegaard. Like they had a lot going on, you know. And then Saka was just picking up little spots. Like he was just appearing everywhere. Like for someone that's not that fast, he just finds all these pockets. And so they were able to step up a gear, and you could just tell they show that they've got more belief in their gameplay than we did. We would, Do you know what Amo said? Like when it got to bringing on that sub, it's just like, okay, let's just take the draw. And then Arsenal like, no, we ain't doing that. And then they started pressing us. So
do you know what?
I think that was the main difference.
I would agree partly with it, and then there's some parts I have a different opinion. So I'll say that I feel like Man United came out to play, right? I thought like, you know, I was thinking we're going to go with speed up top, right? Garnacho, Rashford and that. We played workhorse. If you're playing workhorse, then you're thinking we need to get crosses into him. That's the mindset. You're thinking he's going to be holding up the ball, maybe putting through the wingers. That's the mindset. NK's just coming. I'm sure he's got something to say. So when I saw the lineup, I thought, okay, Erik ten Hag is coming to play, right? Erik ten Hag's coming to play. In the first 60th minute, in the first 60 minutes that Emo said, I felt like it was a game, it was a competitive game. And you remember, we're forgetting the fact that, what's his name? Their right back, who they were, you know, on about so much. Look, he was on a yellow card. Arteta said, you know what? Smart first decision he done is take him off. Because you don't want him going up against Rashford and potentially getting a second yellow and getting sent off. Arteta's very smart. Pride aside, all of that stuff. He didn't do what we was doing with Casemiro and then risking anything. Took him off. Brought on Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu held his own. Secondly, in that game, I noticed that after the 60 minute, like you said, we didn't have that next gear. And I feel like the difference is I don't have no disbelief in Erik ten Hag. He made some decisions with subs that was poor. But I think that the main thing for me is just like, I just saw a team where we're just at two different stages of our development. I think like Arsenal has that sustained intensity with the right players, a team that has been doing it longer, that can maintain it.
Man United, you know what it is here? At the same time, that's a bit of an excuse here, because although we're still in a developmental, right? If you see the team, like Ten Hag was saying before, you know, we've got a game plan. If we implement it, we'll do well against Arsenal. If you look at Arsenal and where they've been troubled, even when you look at the game against Brighton, they get troubled where teams actually like attack them back and press them back. Like when you look at our front striker, Workhorse was never ever going to do that. Like I think it was the wrong decision making starting him. I feel like bring him on at the end if you want to log up the ball up there, but they should have started with Rashford up front, Garnacho on the left, and maybe even Anthony on the right. Like they had to go with a team that would just push them back, because Arsenal were always going to push us back. You know what I mean?
But that's the thing though, Edwin. I don't
with the counter.
There's that thing, right? In hindsight, it all makes, you know, in hindsight, it's easy to do that. But my thing is that when you're in the game, like I see Arteta making those, you know, when he brought on Fred, I know you men say, oh, that was Manchester United settling for the 2-2. When I saw Erik ten Hag bring on Fred, to me, I saw him addressing an issue. I saw him addressing the issue with what he had. So Fred has legs. He's able to close down. We saw him do it on De Bruyne. That left-hand side, with Saka, there was too many. I was screaming it in my WhatsApp group. NK, he knows. I was screaming it saying, sure, was left by himself too many. You can't go 1-on-1.
Yeah, but then even
okay,
go
offline. When Rashford, remember when Rashford was bombing down the wing? Yeah, I saw Partey track back to support the fullback. How many times was Shaw left 1-on-1 with Saka? Saka's being able to cut in.
What do you think about Shaw? Do you think Shaw done well?
Sure. I don't think Shaw done well because he weren't winning like his one-on-ones at his duels. He weren't holding down that Wan-Bissaka was holding down. But when you see that in the game, you don't just say, "Oh, you had a shit game." Like you didn't hold your own against Saka.
But you know what? You know my difference is,
And Eriksen, we could clearly see where he was trying to hold down Saka. He was missing that yard. He doesn't have that muscle twitch. You know that one that quick reaction where you can be like, "Oh, this guy dropped his shoulder." Quickly on the forward. That's what Fred has.
I think a lot of it was. Shaw as a defender, right, has to. When you're playing like someone against Saka, you got to press him. He was standing off him too many times. Even that shot that hit the post, he was allowed. Like he literally just stood off him and allowed him to run at him. So I know you're saying we didn't double up on him, but Shaw didn't help the situation at all. He allowed Saka that freedom. He just literally stood off him, allowed him to get into the box where you can't touch him, and just stood off him.
But the thing is you never allow one of the most informed wingers in the league, probably even in Europe, in the world at the minute, one-on-one situations. I don't care if Eric Shaw was standing off him. If he's standing off him, you need another man that's standing on him. So you got one that can sweep. You don't leave him by himself. And Eriksen, I'm sorry. But
the thing is, if you're left by yourself, you got to deal with it, though. That's what I'm saying. You can't just stand off it.
There's ability. You need to understand. There's only so much Erik Ten Hag can do. Then it's gonna come down to player ability.
I'm talking about Shaw. I'm not talking about Ten Hag. I'm talking about Shaw.
No, that's my point though. Like for me, Workhorse had all the hunger, all the drive to try and defend. You ain't getting us up the pitch.
He's not a defender. Remember I told you, he's not a defender.
This is my point.
He's role as a striker.
When we brought him in, Edwin, what was one of the key attributes we heard about Workhorse? It's pressing, right? He's been doing what we heard about. My thing is when you're doing that pressing, it's not helping us with the outlet. I agree with NK.
NK said something the last time.
You ain't even spoken and you agree with him, bro. Look at that.
No. But last time, he said that. He said work hard. He's gonna be a flop if the team plays how we play. Like Rashford is, let's be honest, is somewhat greedy. Anthony's not really it showed today is he's not without service. There's no point in him playing as a striker for us.
And Erik Ten Hag,
might as well play him in DM.
But Erik Ten Hag needed. First of all, let me not take anything away from Arsenal. Arsenal, first of all, is on smoke, is on fire. They played. You know what it is? Let me tell you this from camp. The intensity, the pressure that I felt from Arsenal in this game was that of an elite team, not like just a normal team where you're trying to grind out a result. The pressure that we experienced from Arsenal today was that of an elite team, that of a team that is fighting for the title, that other team that's changed, quite frankly. And Man United's got one of the better defenses. It's vastly improved, bro. What I saw of that sustained pressure was crazy. I'm not taking anything away from that.
One second, let's hear what NK has to say, because he went ahead last time. Welcome, NK. How are you?
Oh God, man!
This is because of NK. He welcomed them back. NK welcomed them back. He said,
"No. First of all, look, I just want to say, Manchester United won on aggregates because we won 3-1 at home, and then it was 3-2. So if you put it like that, we won it on aggregate, But look, I'm fuming with today's game. I'm literally fuming with today's game because. First of all, the lineup, I don't feel like this manager went in. Tactically, I think today we have to look at Ten Hag tactically. Because one, the first game against City, what he done so well was that he had a plan for, Kevin De Bruyne, where he stick Fred onto him. Today's game, I don't tactically, it feel like he wanted to leave Rashford up top for the counter-attack. So then let's show alone with Saka. But the problem is, if you're going to do that, then have someone in the middle who got legs to be able to help show up. He didn't do that. He didn't do that. And then you had Eriksen in there who could not get close to even help Saka. And that explained that goal that Saka scored. So there was that too. again too, our striker, I told you, Fems, like, there is no point having this striker if we have the players that we have. This is 2 games this guy has played and has only had 1 chance created for him, and that was still the Luke Shaw cross.
NK.
All he was
in this
today,
pre-match, I didn't even put Weghorst in the starting lineup for me. In this pre-match thing, it was Rash, it was Garnacho, and it was Anthony or Bruno on the right. He has his Weghorst has his place.
I'm gonna have a go at you.
Not in a game like this.
I'm gonna have a go at you today. I came here for you today.
This is what happens, you know. The fan base is lost.
No, I came here. Look, you see how Arsenal played today. Today, they had different ways of attacking. They could go to the left. They could go to the right. Even in the middle, their left back could step inside, push Partey, everybody up there. That is football, man. You hear every single time you're telling me online, oh, we need to get 3 players and we're going to be playing football. We cannot do that. See what Arsenal was doing. Man United cannot do that. We don't know how to do that.
How do I mute NK? Like, just for 2 seconds. Look.
I'm
NK,
telling you.
NK, listen.
The way
hear me out.
The way these guys play football.
This game, first of all, I'm gonna continuously say this. The way how Arsenal play football, yeah, Man United's not ready to do that. I'm not even talking about ball possession, playing up. I'm not even talking about all of these things because Man United is never gonna compare with Arsenal at this stage, and we don't even have the personnel to do that. But I do feel that we had the personnel to potentially get something out of this game. We've beaten them before, and I feel that we had the personnel to do it again. Yeah. My thing is Weghorst, in my opinion, you started him, fair enough. Hindsight is a good thing. In this game, even if Weghorst was in our own half defending, doing all these things, what is he gonna do? Is he gonna pick out a pass to find Rashford? No,
but
he ain't got that in his locker. Is he gonna run with the ball and run 30 yards? No, he's not gonna do that.
The key thing though.
The reason why Rashford,
you see what Arsenal's done to us.
The reason why David De Gea and Bruno was faking them injuries is because they were trying to take the sting out of the game. And really and truly, Garnacho, he would have ran, dribbled past the man, get fouled like Grealish, and bought us time, took the pressure out of the game. And we didn't do that, bro. We brought him on that 90.
I keep telling you this. Our manager doesn't have the stomach for defensive football. He doesn't. Because even today, if he was about that counter-attacking life here, around 2-2, take off Wiggy off. Take that striker off and then say, okay, you know what? We're gonna sit back and we're gonna try to nick the ball. Look at the sub that he even made. Our manager cannot play that defensive football, man. He just cannot do that.
I don't agree with that. No, I don't agree with that, man. I mean, look, I'm all up for putting the boot into United. Us firms, I'm all up for that. That's, it's not an issue for me. But when we went to Old Trafford, Erik ten Hag proved that he can play behind the defensive line. Because you lot just soaked in their pressure and hit us on the counter. And if you look at most of your victories this season, a lot of them have been like 1-0 or 2-1s, where you've taken the lead and you've just sat back and soaked the pressure. Yeah, so you can play like that. I think that's more down to the players. Not necessarily that's how he's setting us up. It's because our players cannot play with that intensity for too long, and then they cannot hold possession too. So at times it turns into that. But that is never his way of trying to play. And he always, after the game, he always come and say like, look, they were not following my instructions. Because that's not how he want to play today. That's not how he want to play. But you have to assume that he's coaching them that on the training ground. The problem you have, right, is you haven't got a reliable centre forward
at
right?
all.
So and you're like, if you haven't got Martinelli and Saka on your wings, who are close to getting double digits halfway through the season.
But then today.
Hold on, NK. Let him finish.
No. Today watching Arsenal. No. Today watching Arsenal. Yeah, Martinelli and Saka, they were very high up the pitch. Who were the guys getting them the ball?
Zinchenko, Chaka.
Exactly. They were the guys. So our wingers. Where did you see our wingers picking up the ball? Halfway line, and that's the biggest problem we got.
Yeah, look, I think from what I saw, you had a twofold issue. Number one, your wingers weren't coming back to support your fullbacks. So if you look at us, right? So every time you had Anthony coming down our left, you had Zinchenko there, Saka dropped in, and Martinelli. So it was a 3-on-1, even if Wan-Bissaka followed up. And you had the same thing on the right. Partey would step out.
I saw Partey.
Saka would come back.
Yeah.
Saka would come back, and even Ødegaard would join in. But every time Luke Shaw was up against Saka, he was literally on his own. And because Luke Shaw was scared of Saka getting in behind, he wasn't helping out Rashford on the attack, on the overlap. And that's what happened. You guys just weren't able to get the fullbacks in the game.
This is what I'm trying to tell you, bro. You've got Arsenal.
No, but then alongside that as well, with Arsenal's wingers, they play football. They're team players. Like our wingers are not like Rashford. Goes on like he's playing cage football all the time.
Yeah, but my thing is you cannot go 1-on-1 with Arsenal's wingers. Are two of the most informed wingers in the whole of Europe. Some of them. You can't go 1-on-1. I don't care what Shaw should have been doing or what Aaron Wan-Bissaka should be doing or should have been doing. It's not even down to that. It's down to do not leave them 1-on-1. And I saw it in the game.
Okay, but first, if you're left 1-on-1, you got to deal. You got to deal with it.
Bro,
that was a game plan.
Don't do that, man.
That was a game plan. That's what said.
But then that's a mistake.
Game plan.
Big. You don't.
That's what his game plan to leave.
Whose game plan is to leave the most informed wingers on 1-on-1s? A guy that can cut left, right, can dribble like anything.
It's clearly 10 hard. It's clearly 10 hard.
And even if you did that, you saw the goal. Even if you do that, you saw the goal come from Saka. You saw the goal come from Saka, and your in-game management, what is it? Is that stubbornness then? Your in-game management is not saying, okay, this isn't working. Let me make a change. Like, you don't get it. Like, you first, like I keep reiterating, you don't leave your most informed wingers on 1-on-1s. You should never do that.
Okay, so are you telling me there was no fault of? So you're telling me there was no fault of Shaw the way he defended?
Bro, before I even get to Shaw,
you know what? I even went back and watched it again.
It's hard work.
Shaw was standing off. Bro, Shaw was going like Saka had the gun.
First of all, Edwin, hold on. First of all, this is how Shaw plays. Then he should have started then. He shouldn't have started left back. They should have played Malacia. Please, Arsenal fans, go watch our Crystal Palace game. He was doing the same thing. See what he done against Saka? He was doing the same thing. It got nothing to do. This is how he plays. This is how we should have got probably Malacia, because Malacia, at least he will commit here. See these players here, what they done? They cowards. Yeah. They don't want to commit and get past. So what he does is he will stay there and wait for Saka to do whatever. They just cowards. That's what he is. Stick a leg in, they don't want to get beat. They do not want to get beat. And that's how he plays. What if you watch Man United next weekend and Luke Shaw is playing left back, he's going to be doing the same exact thing. He's never going to stick a foot in. That's what that.
I'm not even blaming Shaw. Do you know why? Because Shaw was one of our most informed defenders coming into this game, and now in hindsight we're like, oh, blah 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 blah. If he's been defending like this, then I'm not going to be criticizing him now that he's defending like this against Arsenal. My thing is, if I know someone's, this is the thing, and this is where it comes down to this, Edwin. If you know this guy can't handle it, if you know he plays like this, and you shouldn't be stepping back against Saka, you don't play him. Like you said, you don't play him. So it's going to come back to Erik ten Hag. If you see he's getting raped, you make the in-game decisions. You don't now go and say, "Oh, this guy should be doing his job." You know?
No.
Like the manager hasn't got time.
I'm saying both. I'm saying Shaw probably should have done better.
Can I ask you something? With reset, let me bring reset into this. Let me give you a little reset into this. You got your employees. Big up reset, by the way. Get me doing big stuff for the mental health community out there, the black people out there. Look, if you have employees that are not doing their job, but you know that this is what they are like, do you go and say, do you know what, let me leave you to make my stuff crumble? Or are you going to make decisions to change that? You're going to make decisions to change that. You'll change it. Erik ten Hag watched Shaw saying, backing off. Or watch Eriksen not being able to close down. And he just stood there and watched it because he was hoping that we can somehow get some sort of counter-attack thing. He had too much faith in the whole fact that we could just maybe get some sort of luck, counter-attack, or I don't even know what he thought that. You know what I mean?
But you also have to in game. You also have to see it worked for the first goal. So, you know, that kind of thinking, that reasoning, he probably was, okay, well, we can fight out of this. We can do, you know what I mean? He probably saw that early success and thought that, you know, okay, at least we're in the right position. But
yeah, I get that.
You know,
anyway, friends,
I get that.
let's ask them about the Arsenal players, because personally I don't want to talk about the shit United players, man.
Let's sign out.
Let's about them shit players, man. You might think about Nketiah, man. Think about Nketiah, because that boy played good, you know.
I'll tell you what, really, Odegaard was that real engine today. That guy did not slow down his pace for nothing. Yeah. Absolutely nothing. Completely.
Hey, Ferber, ask Ferber what I said about Odegaard. He did agree with me. I said he's much better than Bruno. Ferber was like, nah, man, he's not. He's not. Remember, Ferber? I said I've been watching Arsenal. Odegaard is much better. And I was like, look at that pass he done to Martinelli to score. You like, Bruno can do that. I was like, no, he can't.
That's the thing. I'm not saying that Odegaard's the two different players. Bruno and Odegaard's two different players. Odegaard's a proper like number. Like he's just a 10. He's a 10. He can control. He can dictate play. Bruno's not that guy. It's a hot pocket. The ball's like, it's like he's holding something hot anytime he has to release it. And he's a guy that plays on a wing. He can play supporting striker. We even talked about him playing striker. He's just a random. He's a hybrid type player. He's not. Let's be honest. Bruno's not an Ozil. He's not Odegaard. He's not.
Remember my point to you is because
his involvement for Manchester United, in my opinion, is just as important. I wouldn't say it's as important. I think Odegaard is for Arsenal what Casemiro is for us in our midfield for this team right now. But I would say what Bruno is for Manchester United, whether you like him or not, is probably what Saka is for Arsenal right now. Because
no, we ain't doing that.
Because Bruno, yeah, he's involved. Bruno's involved, yeah, in almost every single goal.
I didn't come here to hear about Bruno. I didn't come here. Not today, man. Not today.
Who got Rashford's assist? Who got Rashford's assist?
Huh?
Who got Rashford's assist?
I don't
himself.
know.
Yeah, there was no one. It was a self-made goal.
No, he beat Party and he shot.
Don't
try it.
Rashford done individual brilliance. Don't get me wrong, but Bruno registered an assist today, and what I'm saying is,
oh my days,
just check it. Just check it. I know it's a reach. I know it's a reach.
That's a reach.
I know it's a reach
because you're gonna like Bruno done some slick kind of football. He just done a simple pass.
Today's game was an elite game from Arsenal. Bruno, if you look at the stats, I'm telling you, Bruno has been involved in probably 70 plus of our goals, whether it's an assist directly, whether it's in a goal, or whether it's that play just before the assist. He is heavily involved. And for me, I'm not saying that he's as good as Saka. I'm not saying that I'm not saying any of that stuff. I'm just saying
you just compared him to Saka.
No, I'm telling in terms of I'm not trying to the level of importance. It's like when I said Casemiro and Odegaard, it's just like if you remove Odegaard, it's like removing Casemiro from Man United. Look, Arsenal had so much possession of that ball, yeah, sustained pressure. Casemiro would have been there, sticking a leg out, being in the right position to remove some of that pressure. It was so sustained, and it went on for so long.
Casemiro don't change this result today.
I'm not saying he changes the result. Look, you're not listening to my words.
This beating was coming left and right, man.
It may have been coming, but Casemiro, what I'm saying is, he would remove some of that pressure by being in the right place at the right time. I'm not saying he will change the result. But the pressure that Manchester United underwent today was too. We went. Do you know the pressure Man United went, and it wasn't like.
But then, friends,
it wasn't stop-start. It was sustained, intense 20, 30-minute pressure. Huh?
But in most games.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Offline.
Did you hear what Gary Neville said? Gary Neville said it was like 4-5-1 in our own penalty box. 4-5-1 in our own penalty box.
Friends, the thing is offline. Yeah, obviously, when we talk here, I come to chest and I talk about, oh yeah, we're winning. But offline, I told him. I said, there is no way we can let Arsenal have that ball and play the way they play for us to get anything from that game. No way. You just could not do that, because the way if Casemiro came here today, was played today, all he was going to do is just try to break down play. Eventually, they were going to get through. When teams here, see the way Arsenal play, when they play and put pressure at you like the way they do, eventually something is going to get through that. Something is going to... They don't do what we do, you know, where we create magic moment. They don't do that. They keep coming at you from all angles until they get what they need, man.
Ogo. What did we do? Ogo, what did you do right? What did Arteta do right to win this game? And what did we do wrong?
the biggest thing for me tactically was allowing Saka now the freedom to go onto the wings and supply the crosses in. Because that left leg, as you see leading into the Eddie goal, was immaculate. He was supplying steady crosses all game. So yeah, to back what NK said, we had multiple sides of attack. We came through the middle, came on the left, came on the right, but also with the high pressure involved, even the goal that DDG saved from Eddie, that was one of those pinball gets knocked around and it just squirted out to him in the middle, you know, and it squirted out to him because of the pressure. And that also in turn led to that game-winning goal in the 90th, because once that pressure broke apart and it laid back out for Odegaard to play that ball into the middle, which really I thought was just a deflected shot, but they gave Odegaard the assist. When that's just how that type of play works. Eventually, like NK said, you're gonna crack if you try to sit back and absorb that, because unless you have, and I really don't see anybody on that United side giving Rashford the proper service to turn that type of pressure into a one-on-one on the other end. But if you don't have that, then you know you're just, every time they would clear the ball, it would come right back into the final third. Every time they would clear the ball, somebody's now playing it, recycling it, moving it to the wing. Oh, the wing didn't work. Let's try up the middle. You know, I don't know. This has been the best I've seen Arsenal step up in a big game in a very long time. I mean, 25 shots to 6, 12 corners to 4. You know, it was just like, we're no matter what. And I really think maybe going down early is what helped them, you know, rejuvenize and get back into that energetic state, because, you know, I was scared. I honestly, when that Rashford being the screamer it was when it went in, I was like, well, do we fold? What's going on? And then 6 minutes later, I mean,
do you know what's scary about this, Ugo? Yeah, the Arsenal team right now is the fact that when I look at Arsenal's team, this isn't Bergkamp, this isn't Perez, this isn't all of those type of names. This is normal guys. Like, I love Saka. These are just normal guys. You know what I mean? Zinchenko, normal guy. You know what I mean? Like, these guys are normal guys. Partey, even at Atletico, it wasn't like, wow, he's like super amazing. Like, these are just normal guys. Tomiyasu, you named them, Saliba, normal guys. Not like to say they ain't good players, just normal guys in terms of nobody out there is like super world class. That, you know, they weren't coming with that status. What's scary is that Arsenal's playing this football with just normal guys. And you know what it is? That just shows how dangerous Arteta is, your manager, man.
And I'll tell you, I think it's scary.
It really, I was gonna say the real win with the development, the organization of the squad. It's like Arteta's been playing ultimate team with this squad. He's gone and found players that have relationships. We have Brazilians spread throughout the court, throughout the squad.
Edu, man, Edu.
Trossard and Ben White, teammates at Brighton 3 seasons ago. Ramsdale, Saka, Eddie, Eddie hasn't been called up yet, but Saka and Ramsdale playing for the international squad together. These are players that see, like, it's not like once the Premiership ends, everybody disperses across Europe and back home and does everything. These are players that are playing football with each other almost year round. So they have that chemistry. I think that's probably the biggest binding factor of this Arsenal team that hasn't been in a long time. And it's like having those guys that have, come up through the academy, or they've gone on and just been introduced, brought into the notion, because they always have like something deeper than the football there to also look forward to. You know what I mean?
He's got a team.
Ugo, on your point too, it's simple. They've recruited players to play the same style of football. Most of the players that they're buying are same profile. See, when the manager came in, he didn't have all of them playing the same type of profile. So what did he do? He let big name players go. Look, people talk about big name. City, Bernardo Silva wasn't a big name when he came there. A lot of the players they've had were not big names. But that's what you do. You buy players that
turn them into
your system, and then you turn them into that. So this idea, that's what I said to you. In order for Man United to go, we need to do that sacrifice. Let some of these players that people feel like they're big names go if they don't fit the manager's system, and recruit those little people that can just football.
You need to remember. Eriksen is 6 months or so into this whole thing, so he's gone through one round.
He doesn't have legs. Eriksen.
No, Erik Ten Hag. Sorry, did I say Eriksen?
No,
Erik Ten Hag. He's only 6 months into the whole thing. Remember where we're coming from. That's all I'm saying. Like, you got Arsenal. That's been how long has Arteta been at Arsenal for?
4 years.
This is
4 years.
This is 4.
Because he was there when Oli came.
3 years.
3 years.
Oh, this is third.
Yeah, but he joined in
Yeah,
December.
3 years. Yeah, he got 3 years in December. Yeah.
So you're talking
He's there
about
for
3 years
yeah.
versus 6 months. So like where you're seeing it, Workhorse was a default type of guy. Let's be honest. And a lot of the guys that he even got wasn't necessarily his. Like Casemiro, I love the guy, bro, but he's not Erik ten Hag's first.
Yeah, but
option.
every manager go through that. Arsenal this summer didn't get a lot of their first choice. Remember, they wanted Martinez.
No, but they got time.
That was one of their
No, but they've got
they wanted
time.
Rafinha.
But he's got time.
That was no, but I'm just saying, whether that or not, you still need to look. All I'm just saying is, Man United right now, in like 2 years or so, a lot of the players out right now, we feel like they are key players. They will not be here if this manager want to implement the system.
Let me remind you, NK. Even when Arteta was buying his players, there was a good amount of the fan base that was 50-50. There was just like some of them were even saying, "I want Arteta out." Just remember that.
Before they were recruiting wrong. They were recruiting wrong though. They were buying the wrong players before.
Yeah, but my point is,
Willian.
look at the signings. Like you said, like Willian. Look at the signings. What is the similarities here? You know what I'm saying? They were buying what? They were buying guys like Willian. We are buying guys like Workhorse. What in terms of like how the fans thought about him dropping games, losing matches, they weren't happy. They didn't make their Champions League. Like, look, these are all the things that the fans are like, I don't want him. Arteta out. A lot of them were saying that. Remember, we was gloating saying Oli over Arteta, Arteta in. These are the things that we need to remember the process of what Arsenal has gone through. They didn't just magically get here. This was just the other day. The fans are like, let's get him out. My thing is with Erik ten Hag, he's brought in a proper player. Willian is our workhorse right now. That is it. And at the end of the day, we need to get in a position where Erik ten Hag is still here, where we can be looking at him after even a year and being like, okay, what type of players are you recruiting? How are we moving now? In all honesty, I do believe we could have nicked something from this game because Man United's got the capability to do that. We're the only team to beat them in the league. That clearly shows that Manchester United's got something about them. But the problem is if you look at it deep, Arsenal, we can't be going toe to toe with Arsenal. Not now. Not with the players that we've got. Not with how Erik ten Hag wants to play. You have to do counter. We should have just done the counter, man. We should have really.
You know what?
Man.
I'll say 2 points here. I know you said something about standard ordinary players here, but you got to remember how good they're playing and how young they are. I don't even think they've hit their ceiling yet. That's what's scary to me because I still think they can get better as a team and as players. And then secondly, I know we're saying Ten Hag has only been 6 months in, but Arteta didn't get 200 million in his first season.
Spent a lot of money. I said Erik ten Hag spent a lot of money in one summer.
Yeah, and I remember Arteta really had to just deal with what he had and could buy like the odd players here that weren't too much. Like he had I know we're saying it's only 6 months, but with that 200 million, he had more than enough to implement the players, like NK saying that he wanted to get.
Yeah, and I think
a lot of this comes down to what your expectations is at the end of the season. Like, I think, look, United fans probably, United as a club and as a team probably have enough to get into the top 4. And I think for this season, that's a pretty good achievement for you guys.
You have to deep it.
Yeah, I think our aim is top 4. Our aim is top 4, but it's not even just that now. I think it's more about where a lot of the fan base feel like most of the players that we currently got are good enough. And we don't need this whole kind of like area where majority of them have to go in order to bring people inside. You know, I still think we're gonna get top 4. You know, because we put a lot of like games run inside. But it's a question of that because we've done it before. You know, we've done top 4 before. We got second place. The question is, how do we then go from this team to a team where we are doing what Euros are doing, where we are on top of the table, and actually kind of like having that kind of like style of play where all the players are actually kind of like born to the manager's idea. And this is where I think the debate between the fan base always kind of like come, because some people feel like, okay, you know, for example, Shaw is another one. Some fans will tell you like he should be our number one left back going forward. Others will tell you like he's not a guy, you know. So it's just getting that fan base to kind of like feel like when the team is ready, who is going to be in it. Because I remember when I won the FA Cup, majority of the players that are starting in the starting 11 right now, they were not the guys that played in that team that won the FA Cup.
There's only a couple of players that Man United fans are jointly like, yeah, right now, like a majority of them, and that's Casemiro, Martinez, and I would say maybe Rashford at this given moment in time. I think when everyone's in form, you're like, yeah. But in terms of just
Casemiro,
like and Varane,
Casemiro, we don't know how long his leg is gonna last for. We don't know how long it's gonna. Even Arsenal fans are worried about Partey, and Partey is 29. They're worried about Partey. They're trying to find someone to come and like understudy Partey. You know what? When I looked at this game today, I saw Arteta's. I saw him have a game plan. Man United didn't really have. Well, if we did have a game plan, it wasn't coming. It wasn't coming to.
It looked like we were just there for the. Yeah. It just looked like we were there for the vibes.
Did you see when they were targeting? Did you see when they were targeting Aaron Wan-Bissaka though? Did you see? You know when that goal went in, where Aaron Wan-Bissaka didn't even know. You know he does this on the left hand side, where the ball across comes in, he doesn't know where it's landing, and then all of a sudden, someone sneaks up on him. He used to do that for us.
Ball watching. That's what he does.
Now he did it again, and what hurt me about that goal, is he saw Nketiah. He had Nketiah in front of him. It was like doing that whole like this thing, and then when the ball actually gets hit where it matters the most, he let Nketiah just run in front of him and head the ball in. What was that all about? And secondly, it's just like I saw when Arsenal had a corner, man just said, "Okay, we scored a goal like that." Then man locked it long, deep on Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I don't even know why he ended up ending on the left side. He was twice. He was there. They ended up locking a corner over to Aaron Wan-Bissaka's side again, bruv. They know that his flaws, his weaknesses, and again, Erik ten Hag couldn't counter that. He couldn't say, "Do you know what? Like, maybe Weghorst, like I don't know, like maybe keep an eye on him, like monitor where that ball's floating to. Like I don't know, man. I just feel like the in-game management wasn't good enough. And to be fair, Eriksen playing 90 minutes is a joke. It's a joke as well. It's a joke.
Yeah. My problem is, remember I've always said, like, if I'm being honest and just being a neutral fan, Arsenal the only team that actually played consistently well. But consistently playing well. Problem with Man United, like, I don't think I think Enke said it, we don't have a style. It's just like one time we're doing this crazy pressing against Liverpool and we're like, damn, that football is good. You remember when we played Liverpool and then it just disappeared? You don't even see us press like that no more. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like it's not like, yeah, man, there's just no consistency in our team. It's just, seems at times people are just there for the vibes.
You know, any other team today, we smoked them. Any other team today, Man United smoked them. Today. Any other team.
But the question is, I always ask you.
And then
what you would have saw,
what you would have saw,
the way we play right now,
then you would have saw whatever type of style Erik ten Hag was trying to do come to the forefront. I just think like Arsenal, we have to call a spade a spade. Like Arsenal's levels was mad today, and it's not even a sense of like it was just mad. I really do think any other team, it could have been City, it could have been Liverpool, it could have been anyone. We're winning this game today. I'm telling you.
Yeah, no, we're not.
But it's just Arsenal's levels.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
Yeah. Look, you're the same guy that said draw. Don't be coming like you're the same guy that said draw.
Watching the performance, bro. I can't watching the performance today of Man United. We turned up today. We came with heart. You know what? We came with passion, came with heart, came with drive, all of that. And that usually is enough for Man United to win a game.
No, we didn't. We're not even aggressive today. What are you talking about? We're not even aggressive today. We were not even aggressive today. Sure, let Saka down where he wanted to do everything. We were not aggressive today. There was no passion, nothing. Rashford was not tracking back. What passion? The only two guys that can hold their head high today, was Varane and Martinez. No one was aggressive. Nobody was aggressive today. There was no passion there.
So wait, Scott McTominay can't hold his head high.
What did he do? What did Scott McTominay do today?
What did he do? I saw him give him some ball away in the dangerous area when he buckled. I was like, what is this guy doing?
What did Scott McTominay do today?
You need to rewatch that game. Look, Scott McTominay today put in he's there to provide that still, put in a defensive shift. That's what he did today.
Who did he stop in that Arsenal team from playing? Did he stop Odegaard? Did he stop Partey? He didn't do nothing, man. Who did he stop today for him to say that, he done well? All these players are going to get it today, man. They're all going to get it today.
I can understand.
You know what? Today, man.
The emotions is high, and I can understand it.
No, but it's true what he's saying. It's not even like, I can't lie to you, bro. With Saka. He didn't stop Saka. He didn't in that midfield. He was just there.
Even Rashford. The guy scored one goal, and then for some reason, it looked like he wanted to score all the goals by himself. he get a ball and then he just want to just try to dribble past 3-4 guys.
Yeah.
What is that all about? Like,
That's
just have some sense sometimes, man.
No, but I told you. Remember, I said Rashford plays like when we were kids in the cage football. He wants to take on everyone and score.
Let me ask the Arsenal fans.
You think I'm passing to Weghorst
today?
No, wait, hold on.
Let's
NK, are you passing? Wait, NK, Edwin, are you passing to Weghorst if you got that ball?
Right, if he's the striker, think about it. Yeah, the way. Listen.
You're not
When
passing to
Rashford's got that
Anthony
ball,
because he's not going to do nothing.
No,
Anthony's going to do.
listen.
Anthony's going to. Anthony's
Wait,
going to
no,
dance.
Not doing nothing too.
Wait, listen. You see when Rashford gets that ball on the left and he cuts in his right. If you've got a 6'5", 6'6" guy in the middle, at least cross it 1 or 2 times, give him a chance.
Rashford don't cross.
1-2, or he runs into the box.
Rashford don't cross. So therefore, you're wasting your time.
That's what I'm just
He's cutting in and going for a shot. So why is Weghorst there? I ain't passing to him. I'm doing what I do.
No, let's add the Arsenal fans.
How did that help him today, except from his wonder goal?
No, let's add the Arsenal
I'd rather lose my way. I ain't having it. Weghorst was still at Arsenal's goal line at any transition. He cannot get off gear 1, bruv. He is still stuck in it. Even now, he's still trying to make his way off the pitch. Are you mad?
Okay, but
if come and tell me about passing the ball.
If was thinking the same about Nketiah, they wouldn't have scored a goal.
Later.
It's about putting the ball in a dangerous position. If Arsenal was thinking that, he wouldn't be scoring a goal. It don't matter who's there, man.
Anthony cuts in and tries to do that curler shot, and Rashford cuts in and tries to shoot. You ain't got crosses, so Weghorst shouldn't be on the pitch. And we were still trying to play it out the back and not even going long with the clearances. Therefore, Weghorst shouldn't be.
I think you're giving Man United too much praise today. You're giving them too much praise today.
I swear down.
No, I'm not giving them praise. I'm giving what I'm doing is giving Eric Ten Hag the smoke, because Eric Ten Hag is the one that picked Weghorst and he's the one that kept Weghorst on.
No, but you're like, oh yeah, Man United could have potentially nicked something today.
That's what Man United do,
We didn't play well today. We didn't play well.
Hold on.
Man United do. We scored 2 goals. Whether we played well or not, we could have nicked it. We could have got something. That's what we do.
I feel like you're making Weghorst like a scapegoat here. Like, the guy only joined you guys.
It's not Weghorst, bro.
A couple of matches ago.
It's not Weghorst. My scapegoat is Eric Ten Hag. That's my scapegoat. He gets my. There's only one substitution he done. Yeah, in my opinion, that was to help the team, and that was Fred. When he saw Saka having his way with Shaw, he said, I'm gonna marry you, I'm gonna divorce you, I'm gonna marry you, I'm gonna divorce you, I'm gonna take you out on a date and you're gonna pay the bill, I'm gonna take you, like, he done everything. He had his way with Shaw. The only sub that Eric Ten Hag done, in my opinion, to stem that, to make anything beneficial for Man United, is bring on Fred. And when he did that, we saw instant alleviation, especially for the immediate term anyway, on that side. Any other thing outside of that?
I don't think that change helped you.
There was no. It
got
worse for us.
No, I saw alleviation. I saw a small bit of alleviation when he came on.
Hold on. Yeah, there was alleviation, but he vacated the midfield to go over to the left-hand side.
But we didn't have. The thing is, Man United don't have options. Man United, you know when you're dealing with your cards. You know when someone's got a full house and you're trying to do something like there was so much madness going on with Arsenal. There's too many places to deal with. That's the thing with Arsenal. We're not playing any other team. They have too much.
But listen, look where the third goal comes from, right? It comes from an interchange between Trossard and Zinchenko, and Fred is off on your left-hand side when he's supposed to be the central midfielder. So yeah, he might have helped out Luke Shaw handle Saka, but he vacated the midfield.
But what did I tell you, bro? What did I tell you? On the wings, you should never let man be 1-on-1 or 2-up-on-1 man in this instance. Wan-Bissaka, he thought, okay, do you know what? He's handling Martinelli. Let him do his thing. I don't care who you are. I don't care how good you are at tackling. You don't leave man 1-on-1. And the problem is, in this game, what you saw is Saka giving Shaw the smoke. He brings on Fred to try and mitigate that, but then you're getting doubled up on the right-hand side. You can't do that. Whether you're Wan-Bissaka good at tackling or not. Man's making sliding tackles in the box. You know how scary that is, bro.
You know what the problem is overall? You're saying, like, you said about Weghorst and then I said about the scapegoat thing, but then it does go back to Ten Hag, because if you're getting this player right and you already know your wingers can't play with this thing, why sign him?
No, bro, you need to play. You need to use him like we used Giroud all those years ago.
Yeah.
You're supposed to lump the ball up to him.
Yeah.
He's supposed to bring it down and then play in your wingers.
But also,
how many times did we do that? How many times did we do that today?
The problem there though is Weghorst is nowhere near as technically gifted as Olivier Giroud.
Yeah, that's true.
Giroud is a Pulaski goal winner, so you know it was honestly just. I feel like you guys scrambled to that signing and you didn't maximize that opportunity, or really maybe even at that point, why not go for somebody younger, somebody that you can develop, not this.
We don't have money.
Do you know who you play Weghorst for?
It had to be
you know who you play Weghorst? You play Weghorst against your Burnleys, against your Nottingham Forest. You play it against them type of teams. You don't play it against Arsenal. I'm sorry, you don't play. And even if you do,
he had a good game today, though. That's the property. He had a good game today.
He had a good game.
Yeah, he had a good game today. Today, if you watch it, he was.
Edwin, did Weghorst have a good game today?
Yeah, he was linking up play. He was actually feeding the wingers. He actually done good today. The only problem is he didn't get a service because we were trying to play on the counter, and on the counter he's not effective. But in terms of the hold up play today, he was holding up the play.
Was Weghorst a striker or DM today?
He was a striker.
I couldn't tell.
You couldn't tell, Ugo, because I couldn't tell.
I couldn't tell.
I thought it was the new Casemiro, bro.
No, if you watch the game, watch it. Anytime we were making an attack, he was the guy who was doing the hold-up play for us. He was pinging the ball to the left, to the right.
I need to watch it again.
Because it's too slow, he don't get any time.
I don't remember. All I remember is him getting...
Do you know what? My problem is that when I've seen some other strikers, like there's a Villarreal striker that's supposed to be going to Everton, right?
Danjuma. I think he's gone.
There's that guy. Who's that guy that plays for Cameroon? He was at that team that Ronaldo was at. Remember, he lobbed. Like, them strikers are available to get on loan. You need someone that's direct. Like, they at least can run. Like,
no, but Edwin, you guys are forgetting. Edwin, you're forgetting. And I see you guys are forgetting the biggest issue. The manager right now, he's conflicted between playing to suit the players that he have and playing to suit what he want to do. Because if you see the player, he is buying players that can play the possession football. But the ones that he came to meet here play counter-attacking direct football. And that's what look at Anthony.
NK, how silly? No. NK, let me stop you there. NK, let me stop you there. How silly is it to continue trying to play your style of football against Arsenal, who's the best right about now in the whole of the league at playing that style of football? You hit pause for today's game. You hit pause, and then you do counter-attack where your players are strongest at, and then you resume. You're trying to implement your style on these players that are not built that way. You don't go and say, that's stubbornness. That's stubbornness, bro. That's stubbornness. In my mind, that all comes back to Eric again. You cannot be doing that against Arsenal. No way. In this form?
At the end of the day, today was a test. Arsenal passed the test, and they just showed the level.
Do Arsenal win the league? Amo, Ugo. Where do we go from here, man? Do Arsenal win the league? This is stress, bro.
Bro, I told you, I'm not making a call on that until we play City at least once.
Where's your chest, bro? How can you just beat Man United? Where is the gas? You lot should be like, boom, we are doing the double.
No, you know what? They probably watched our video when we were talking after the Man City game. Then we went to go draw against Crystal Palace. They learned, like, take each game as it is. Like, that's a smart thing to do.
Is that what it is? You're taking each game as it is?
I mean, City in 5 days. But that's
is it 5 days?
Yeah, FA Cup in 5 days, Friday. Looking ahead, you know, there's those mid-level teams that you can't slip against. Like we have Brentford coming up here, luckily at home. Then City's coming to the Emirates, and then we have to go away to Villa, Leicester, and then we get let's say we get a break. It could be a trap game against a Bournemouth.
Do you know what the maddest thing is? City could even drop points before they even play each other in the Premier League.
And yeah, so this is me assuming that City continues now to chug and chases effectively, because honestly, I feel like if City loses 1 to 2 more times, not including our games against them, if they lose directly to us, then it's even more profound. But if City loses 1 or 2 more times the rest of the season, I really don't think we can be caught. I really don't.
At what point now?
They look like they're for the taking, though. Out of all the seasons right now, they look, even though they won today 3-0, they do look vulnerable. Like if you put it on them, you can actually beat them.
So I think the biggest question is because with City, we know that at any point they can put on like a run of winning games. You know, they've done it before when Liverpool have chased them. The biggest question is we don't know Arsenal. We don't know if it's still become a two-horse race where City are putting the pressure on them. We don't know how Arsenal is gonna behave towards that. Right now, they seem to be passing the test, but we don't know when it comes to. Because last season it was the same with the top four when they were going neck and neck with Tottenham, and then eventually when it comes to the crunch time, they did kind of like lose that. So we don't know whether if it become like a close race when it's like 3 points or 5 points, can they handle the pressure? And I think this is the bigger question laid down during the title race. But right now, look, if you're a gambling person, I wouldn't write them off.
When does the ball drop where you're like, we're winning the league? Is it after that? Is it beating City?
After they play Man City twice.
But they don't play City until the end of the. I mean, that's late. That's the second time. Is like end of April.
Yeah, and so, but I mean, like I said, that's assuming that City continues to win.
Exactly.
By April, I think by April we'll know. Like,
so what's the point?
By that time,
what's the points gap? What's the points gap that you need to be like, okay, we're winning the league? I say we're already at a significant one now.
By the time we go to Anfield at the beginning of April, if we're anywhere from
7
to
10,
I was gonna say 7 to 10, 8 to 11, 12. Yeah, I would, where I would be very comfortable by that point, because then after Anfield it's Southampton. We have Chelsea at home. Going to St. James and playing Newcastle will be tough. And then Brighton at home, Nottingham Forest, and Wolverhampton. Yeah, so Brighton will be our last test, honestly, before.
You're leaving it fine, boy. I'll be gassed. If I'm still on form, I'll be chatting gas from like next month.
But to me, look, it's simple.
Next week.
Swear down. That's like 2 games to the end of the season, but you need more chess than that.
Put the pressure on
Arsenal. You mad? I'll be throwing up deuces.
I think in order for Arsenal to win the title, they need City to drop off. That, to me, that's all it comes. Because if City put the pressure, you see how City and Liverpool does it.
I don't think City can. City right now, I don't think they can match Arsenal's intensity. If Arsenal play like this against City, they're winning that game, or they're getting a draw. They don't. Yeah. City's not winning, so therefore, I don't think it's about City. It's about Arsenal keeping their thing.
They're experiencing these situations. Remember with the whole Liverpool thing, they are experiencing in like chasing and being able to maintain, and like
that's true.
NK said, getting the string. Because although Arsenal in a good position, experience is important in a lot of situations. And these players are used to chasing someone that's in front of them and actually maintaining it when they need to. So, like you said, Arsenal are doing well now, but the real test is coming down the line when, especially if Man City's continue to like
trend upwards,
be consistent, turn up. So, but right now, my money's on Arsenal. I can't lie.
Amo, who was your man of the match today?
Probably Saka. But I think Zinchenko had a banging game as well. But yeah, I'd give Saka man of the match.
Man of the match, Saka. Honorable mentions Zinchenko.
Yeah.
Hugo.
Who was your best player? I'm trying to work out who your best player was.
The referee for ending the game. Jigga.
Now, for me,
you probably have to give to Rashford.
My boy. Tell him, man.
Today, man.
NK is disgusting.
Man.
My boy, don't mind NK. Just ignore NK. Just leave him.
Apart from the goal, Rashford wasn't there, man.
Get out of there, man. How many goals has he got in a row now? Oh, not in a row, but that last game, he didn't bang against Palace. But you know,
our top 3 best players today: Martinez, Veron, and then Wiggy, man. Our striker, Weghorst. That's it. The rest of them were just like in some doo-doo down, man.
Look, Rashford, if you're listening, if you ever listen, you're my guy, bruv. Don't mind NK. I'm not with him. I don't know who he is, bruv. He's just one random guy I found in the States, and we just zoomed together. But I don't know him, bruv.
For stepping up and showing some actual pounce and showing some aggressiveness, it has to be the 2-goal English Brazilian Edinho Nketiah.
Man said Brazilian,
Edinho, man. He's that guy. You always see with Arsenal, whenever it comes time to dig deep in our reserves and say, because we like to go out and replace players, but for that guy to just step up and continue to show that I can be a solution, that's big, man. Because I remind you what Eddie's situation reminded me of Danny Welbeck before he left. Yeah. They're in very similar situations. Whenever we were in that midst of, I think Giroud had left. Giroud had went to Spain, and we were trying to look around to see we can use, and we gave Welbeck a chance. And I mean, he flamed out, man. It was bad. Like 0 goals, 5 starts. And so, just watching Eddie take advantage of his chance, it's great to see. That's my.
And I think
he's close to leaving, isn't it? He was close to leaving about a season ago as well.
Yeah,
I think
it was between him and Balogun, and we put Valerian out on
Balogun. He said it like a real American. Balogun. Look, I think he stays in the team, even if he comes back today, Gabriel Jesus. I still think he just stays in the team.
He rightfully so. He should, in my opinion.
I think he stays
But Arsenal have got depth now because they've even got Smith Rowe back. They've even got that guy. Who's that guy that they bought? The left-footed one.
Marquinhos.
No. He plays in Odegaard's position.
Vieira.
Oh, Vieira.
Like you've got a lot of, like, you've actually got depth, and they're good quality players. Fam, who's your man of the match for Man U?
Fam, man of the match for Man U. Ooh. Outside of my boy, Rash. Bro. Do you know what? Anthony was.
That says it all, man.
That's hard. Do you know what? Oh. No one. Wan-Bissaka. Get to Wan-Bissaka.
What?
Yeah. Actually, no. I'm lying. You're right. I'm lying. It's not Wan-Bissaka.
I'll slap you for
I ain't got one. It's got to be. It's Martinez. It's Martinez. Sorry, I had a lapse of concentration there. My mind went fuzzy.
Yeah,
Martinez. Yeah.
Your first answer was the right one.
What was that?
Nobody, man. Nobody. Literally nobody, man.
We can't have a man of the match if you lose the game, really, innit?
No, man. It has to be to me. My man of the match would be Edwin, Literally, man. Look, that's what strikers do. They score goals, and we talk about strikers showing up in big games. Today he showed up in big games. See that third goal that he scored? It's just natural instinct. He just stick his leg out there. Just
could have been an offside though on a wrong day. Sometimes it's good to do that. Sometimes
it was Wan-Bissaka that saved that.
Yeah, you know what? You just stick your leg there, and then that's what he done, man. But today, that whole Arsenal team, a lot of them, man. It was that AJ and then AJ last fight, and then when he finished, like, man, that's slow, man. Why are you moving? Like, today, look, they punch us from every single place, man. They punch us like, look, a draw would have been criminal, but I would have been laughing, man. But they deserve it though. But hey, look, if you lost brutally, just know I'll be here waiting and smiling, man.
The way I'll fly out there, but I'll fly out, bruv. Go meet you, go right there.
I'll Frank for the bottle,
bruv. Look, this is a good show.
I'll say Eddie probably uses. I don't think he gave it to Saka, but I just feel like for someone that was on the verge of leaving him because he wanted his first team football, and it was good. It wasn't looking like that because I think before Gabriel came, he thought he'll be the main striker. But for him to step up,
Edwin, you buoyed me. You stitched me up, bro. You stitched me up. You see how all you man are talking about a man of the matches for Arsenal? Yeah, you asked me who was the man of the match for Man U, and you shagged me.
You've been chatting. You just been chatting not just for Man U all games. I had to get you, but you know what? But it should be. Like, even our players, like NK said, he's just doing his striker role. Nothing fancy. He's just scoring. You know what I mean? He's done a good account for himself, and he stepped up. And our players need to take our players need to be like that. Like, even someone like Martial, you need to step up. Like, you can't. But look, we lost. Well done, Arsenal. Welcome.
Let's wrap this up. We got to go now. Look, guys, thank you for joining. It's the OT99 Banter Room. Another L, but we have to move. There's only one way up, and it has to be up. We have to bounce back. But until then, peace.